10th of March. Hanging out. Gonna do our little coffee meeting here. I'm getting my keto brains inside of some iced, quite frankly, elevation blend coffee today. Got that light roast. Want to blow my brains up. So when you want to blow your brains out in the morning, the safest way to do it is just to get a scoop of our good buddies, our friends at Keto Brainz. Love them. Hello, everybody. So I'm over here on Instagram, over here on YouTube, and I got my notes that I'm going to be building for tonight's show, 7 o'clock show. You know, there's a lot going on that I wish I can really tell you guys about. I guess you're going to find out soon. But the craziness that is life, the journey that we have been on, the quite frankly journey, where we are quite frankly on the internet. I'm sorry. It is us. It is I. It is you. That's what we've been doing for years, right?
You will attest to that?
I will have people attest to that. In court, would you guys show up in court? What's going on, Libs of Reddit? See a whole bunch of our friends over there on Instagram. Quite frankly, Elevation Blend is the best. Thank you so much. Would you guys show up in court to testify that, quite frankly, that this is, quite frankly, and has been for at least 15 years? Would you? I'm sure some of you would do that for me, right? Well, I just might need you. You never know. Anywho, that's something for another day, and that day is coming soon. Good. Crystal said she's going to court. Katie said she'll go to court. How many people over here on Instagram would go to court with me? Nikki said she'd show up early. I trust Nikki would. I would pay for Nikki's gas. The state versus, quite frankly. Something like that, right?
God forbid.
God forbid. So, yeah, that'll be quite frankly, the first official, quite frankly, meetup will be at court. We all get together. So, yeah, I know. Anyway, there's just so much. Let's see. Hold on. Actually, let me see if I can put this up right here. Oh, perfect. Now I can read the Instagram chats. Oh, Robin. What's going on, Robin? If someone drives, she'll go there. Robin, you drive. What's up, Javi? I got your back like a chiroprac. Thank you, Javi. I'm going to need it. People have no... Mark, don't worry. It's going to be, everything's going to be all right. But 2025 is being gay. It's just one of those things. Anyhow, thank you again for chilling and let's get down to it. Okay, so tonight there's no guest on tonight. In fact, right now I don't have very many guests booked for this week. Next week we have a lot of great guests next week. But tonight, Libs of Reddit is watching me on a plane. That's terrific. There's nothing like fly-fi. It takes your mind off the fact that you're 30,000 feet above the ground and you have absolutely no control over anything in your life right now, Reddit. Nothing whatsoever. Once you're in the air, you just have to surrender everything and say, well,
let go and
that's it. That's it. Oh, Keto Brainz has just showed up on the Quite Frankly Instagram chat. So talk with them. Like I said, Keto Brainz is sponsoring this morning's iced coffee because it's going to hit 60 degrees today. This week. Tomorrow and Wednesday, we're going to hit 60 degrees. And that means it's summertime. Thank you, Lauren.
The marketing person in me.
Yeah, marketing with Lauren. Frankly, is your 20% off with Keto Brainz. Okay, so tonight I'm going to just open up the lines. And I have a few other things I want to do. One of the topics for tonight is stress. One of the topics for tonight is stress.
You know nothing about that.
I don't know anything about stress. I live a completely stress-free life. So one of the topics you can call in tonight is how you alleviate stress. How do you deal with stress? I have a whole bunch of awesome stories that we can get into. So as far as just articles go, we should be good there. But I'm going to look into the chats now. What do you have? What stories you think are incredible? Any topics you want to bring up? A joke, a meme? I mean, the JD Vance meme reviews would be almost just too much. There's so many JD Vance memes out there right now, and so many of them are fantastic. But you know, it's going to get old quick. But I mean, JD Vance memes, we can do those. I posted one of my favorite ones on the Quite Frankly Instagram, actually. JD Vance memes. Libs of Reddit says, hugging my wife is a good way to alleviate stress. Yes, I squeeze Lauren. Other times I kind of, I don't know. I plot. I plot. I wouldn't say I brood. Sometimes everybody broods from time to time. Try not to be too brooding. But I plot. You know what I mean? Do a lot of plot. I shave my head. If I'm really stressed out, I'll just start shaving. I'll say, all right, let me go get a shower and a shave right now. And then I clean everything. There's a big, cleaning is a big part of all that stuff. Scream. You can scream. A lot of people have been saying, I pray. Yeah, well, you know what I need to do? I actually need to do all the screaming and the working out and the jumping and the slamming before I pray. I can't do that. Praying would almost be like, listen, for me, it's just something maybe I have to work on, but it also just is the way I am with a lot of other things. If you're angry and you put on a happy song, it just doesn't work. Doesn't work for me. It's actually frustrating because you're on another energetic level as that happy song. You can't match the frequency of that song. And there's discord there. So if I'm feeling really, really upset, I can't pray. I need to destroy something, or I need to get a workout in. I got to play the drums. I got to do something resistance based. And that's why I have to move into a new frequency before I can be calm enough to pray. Or else it's going to be like listening to a happy song in an angry state. That's just what it is for me. I saw a few of you put cannabis in there. And we'll talk about this tonight. I can't smoke a joint with you if I'm stressed out about something big. If it's petty, then I actually can get really, really good relief from that and some good perspective from that. But if it's a big thing, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. I watch Quite Frankly, and it always cheers me up. That's what I like to hear. Because there is only one Quite Frankly, despite what some desert-dwelling fruitcake might tell you. Sorry. I've got to just shut up.
Yes.
Well, yes, we'll talk about it sometime. Holy Basil, hello. Holy Basil. Is that almost like oregano oil? Or my happy little trees? Metal music calms me down. Okay, Brent, I'm with you. I think my cousin Brian is in over there on the Instagram. I think that he would agree with that too. I would go as heavy as possible. Like there's I would go to like Slayer. I'd go maybe beyond that just a little bit. Because again, it matches that frequency, then you can take it down a little bit. Then we start moving into more like that power groove kind of sound, into like Pantera, Strapping Young Lad, all that stuff. Mark Swan, I agree. Metal is very soothing. Right. Holy basil lowers cortisol, says Keto Brainz.
That's good to know.
That is good to know. Melt that belly fat right off of you. Go for a run or a walk to release. Okay, so this is going to be good. We'll talk about stress tonight. We'll do a couple of JD Vance memes. What are your favorite memes? You can send those to me. Quite frankly, Frank at quitefrankly.tv. You can send me memes. You can tag me in memes on in the Discord or something like that. What else? What else? What do we talk about tonight? I don't have anything available, with no device available for me to check out all the headlines. What are the big headlines? Let's see. I'm taking my kids today to, what is this? Ice 9 Kills show in May. Aurora has asked me recently when we can go to a concert. I would have loved to take her to Metallica that was last August, Laura?
I think so.
Last August? Metallica and Pantera last August? I would have loved to take an Aurora to that, but she was only 3. That wouldn't work. You need to do a show about how Reddit violent rhetoric might be used to usher in mandatory social ID verification. Hey, libs of Reddit, whenever you want to come on and talk about that, because your room, whatchamacallit, your channel in particular is very, very insightful. It's not just about having a laugh at the expense of some really batty people on Reddit. A lot of it is actually pretty disturbing, and it's a look into a serious, not only mental health crisis that is not only very well expressed, but encouraged and enabled. And now they have so little support. I mean, they're almost becoming their own little the terrorist splinter cell, if you ask me. It's a pretty big splinter cell, but I think that there's a lot more utility in that level of crazy that allow the way that it's being allowed to fester like that than we think. Reddit is a national security threat, if you ask me. But the whole point here is allowing that objective threat to civil society to fester like that. Is that in itself a tool of the censors? It's crazy what goes on websites like that, where a lot of these lefty loons have found some sort of like a comfort blanket, what do they call it? Linus's blanket. What's that called again? What's it called?
Like a
security blanket.
Security blanket. There you go.
It's gibberish, Jafet. Yeah. It sure is gibberish, but it's scary gibberish. Nikki, Reddit is nothing but mods banning everyone. It's a very specific everyone, because you can say some pretty wild stuff, and you can advocate for some pretty sick stuff, as long as you're an approved type of sick. Anyway, so there you have it. That's something that we should get on ice when libs of Reddit is not flying and can and get together as a guest on the show. Hairway to Steven. Hairway to Steven says, I'm a Rumble mod and I don't ban anyone. Well, I hope that's not your policy. You can't just. I mean, you have to know when to ban somebody. But yeah, it's good to be a moderator. If you're going to be an internet moderator anywhere, it's good to have restraint. It's good to have a lot of restraint because it's all right for people not to agree on any number of things, but you just know when somebody's acting in bad faith and they have no actual intent of communicating and they're just trying to track mud in on your living room carpet. You know, the mud trackers. I don't give a shit about your free speech. It's anti-free speech. Yes, very anti-free speech. Get the hell out of here. Let's see. Ban the spam bots at least. No doubt. Yeah, well, spam's not chat. Spam's not chat. That's why ultimately I like call-ins. Call-ins. You never know what you're going to get. You can't get a spam call though. You can get somebody who's trying to troll you, and then we can rate. You can rate the actual trolling. How good was the trolling? You know? But anywho, let's see. Looking at both chat rooms, just taking some notes for tonight. It's going to be a nice, we're starting to sniff spring now. What are your favorite smells of spring? Smells of spring. Mine are lilacs. I like lilac. Can you imagine, somebody in the Instagram just said you might soon with AI, like as far as spam calls go. I think the night that I received my first call from a robot is going to be interesting. I remember our first call, our first international call, when Mike and Anthony were taking calls back in like 2007 or something like that. And I think it's probably around the time that we got our first Skype number, and we were taking calls, or it might not have even been a Skype number, because for a while they didn't provide a number. You just had to call in with the email address. And our first international call was this guy from Estonia. We said, Estonia, wow, incredible. Now international calls are kind of common. So the real question is, when's the first time I'm going to have a non-human call me? So, and you see some of these AI talking to each other, where they switch off and they have AI language? I don't know how much of that's real. Why would you even need to be verbal? Well, I guess to be able to pick up tones over speakers and stuff, that's one way of, like modem language, you know? Shell game. Keto Brainz, what are you talking about? What goes on in the podcast Shell game? Have you heard from Jerry lately, the Scottish Frankly? No, I have not heard from Jerry lately. In fact, I reached out to him on email a few months ago, and I got something back. I forgot what was going on in his life, but I think he's all right. I hope he's well, obviously. Jerry Coogan's birthday is on March 20th. All right. A Scottish Frankly in Glasgow. That's why I also like doing these streams on the Monday morning, because it gives some of our friends in England, just in England, in Europe to hang out with us a little bit more. So I'm a Russian Frankly from Russia, Ohio. Nice. Sparky says, give me Jerry's address. I'll go check on him. He would probably actually like to know about fellow Frankly Scots out there. Let's see here. Keto Brainz, that's probably Molly. said the Shell Game is a journalist who made an AI clone of his voice, and he sent it out into the world to answer calls for him. You know, this is what's going on with all these dating apps. I keep hearing about these dating apps that essentially some people have assigned AI to make connections. It's actually kind of funny. That's how I met a girlfriend of mine once. Not AI, but it was a MySpace friend adder. It would have been the worst How I Met Your Mother story. Thank God that never worked out. MySpace. Oh yeah, well we met on MySpace friend adder. I was promoting my radio show back in 2007, and God, you cast a wide net. You cast you cast a wide net with that one. You never know. You catch a couple of boots, a couple of hubcaps, and maybe a fish. I don't know. But yeah, I read about how these AI programs are actually going out and making like Tinder connections or whatever it is with like 50 different people at a time. And then you just take your pick, and you kind of like line people up, and you're going on dates if you call them dates. God, no way, man. That would be awful. That'd be just bad. Actually, King, I just saw Santino join in on Instagram. That's how King found us too. We got introduced to King back in 2007 through MySpace. A lot of that was just getting promoting through MySpace, and King responded. So some good things happened, although it was a rocky road sometimes. But look where we are now. Benny, what's up, Benny? Buongiorno, buongiorno. How's Matt? I don't know. I don't know. So that's all I can tell you about him. Don't know. He doesn't really communicate with anybody. So that's that. Wish him well, whatever he's doing, and on to the next thing. Pretty sad how things end. But anyhow, what else do we have? You guys throw some. We'll do a little Q&A because I have some good stuff for tonight already. Talking about stress, talking about other things. The lines will be open for whatever hell you got. I have some pretty interesting leftovers from last week too. My first girlfriend overused Downy fabric softener. It's still a neck breaker when I get a whiff. Oh, I'll tell you. When it comes to washing and drying clothes, that's we haven't used. I think we have like one of those 7th generation sensitive skin ones or something like that, where there's barely anything in the actual detergent. And it's been at least 5 or 6 years since we used dryer sheets of any kind. Any kind. Every once in a while, there's a little static in the wintertime. Every once in a while. But when I smell other people's laundry, just like when they walk past me, I can smell everybody's laundry sheets and detergent. It's just crazy how fragrant this stuff is.
Besides the health factor of it, someone had also once told me, what's the point in buying and spending money on perfume if you're just gonna smell like your laundry?
It can't. You know what? I know that there are dryer sheets out there that are pretty clean. There's nothing really anything too offensive in there, and they kill static and whatever the hell else, and fine. I just figured, just throw them in the dryer, get dry. So, but yeah, if they're unscented, that makes better sense, especially if you're going to wear deodorant that has any kind of scent.
Or you're going to smell like yourself at all.
If you have any kind of perfume, any kind of cologne, how many things are you going to have clashing with each other? You know? George. George Shapiro is watching right now.
Oh, hey, George.
George, you came up on the show the other night, man. You came up on the show the other night. I was talking to a recurring guest and a friend of the show, Albert Taylor. He came on to talk about whatchamacall, out of body experiences, and I brought you up. I said, listen, I know that this is stuff that people don't plan for sometimes, and sometimes at night you're just shot out of your body. I said, I have this friend. I have my friend George, who told me he has to go to great lengths to prevent himself from leaving his body at night. You still have not called in to tell that story. You've got to call in, man. Some of your friends, you feel like they might as well live in Wyoming and you're in Rhode Island. And some of them are only like 5 miles away. That's how it is with George. Like, this guy I should see at least once a month. And I see him maybe once every 3 or 4 years. You know? Anyhow. Love the guy, though.
I mean, especially if he can come out of his body, right?
I know.
Come visit or something.
George, why don't you visit me at night?
That would be a welcome visit for Frank.
Just shoot out. I'm sorry for being a turd, he says. Listen, just whatever. Just
shoot on over.
Just shoot out of your body and come over here at night and we'll hang out. If I'm still awake, I'm up pretty late. We could just hang out on the back porch. You could be in your ghost body. Good Lord. Let's see here. Fart jarring. Make fart jars great again. You guys jar your farts like that chick? Wasn't that what was that girl?
I was just gonna say that sounds like a.
I read about that girl. She was jarring farts and sending it out to people. She was making over $100,000 a month or something.
I believe it. Girls do everything nowadays.
Yeah, but she hurt herself.
Run in your sweaty socks.
She hurt herself though. Because to support her I don't think it was OnlyFans, I don't know what it was. But to support her business of farting into jars, she had to eat a very,
carnivorous diet.
Well, inflammatory diet.
Yeah.
So beans and stuff. So she was eating so much stuff to fart constantly into jars. I think she went to the hospital. But you make so much money, what are you going to do? Just stop that?
Right.
Etsy? Fart jarring on Etsy. What was her name? What was her? You guys remember that story, right? The customers just heard Frank say fart jars and fart too many times. They think I'm weird. That's Linda. So she's listening to me at her hair salon. I'm sorry to all the ladies at the salon this morning. We're having a very open conversation. Let's see. Her name was... Oh, okay. I remember that, Sparky. I remember her name now. Yes. GOV says broccoli, beans, and boiled eggs. Awful. But you know what? If you're going to make 6 figures plus, how do you stop doing that? But here's the thing. When the doctor says, all right, listen.
Enough's enough.
Your insides cannot handle this anymore. What do?
You stop, and you're grateful that you made what you did while you could.
Yeah, well,
That's
you try.
I don't know. Logical person would do.
You have to move on to something else.
She's making it way too hard on herself.
Well, I think
girls just running around outside and sending off their sweaty socks.
Well, she also, I think this one particular person was also bottling up, I think, bath water and stuff. So, yeah, it's one of those things. Higher on cabbage. Will Frankly ever grow a beard? I have. I mean, I've never wanted to commit to doing but I've done that before. And I actually just shaved this last night. No, on Saturday. Last night. But anyhow, Johnny Sparks says, I'm homosexual. Good for Johnny, man. Congratulations. Johnny just came out in the YouTube chat room. Everybody wish him well. Everything is a novelty now, yes, including bodily functions. Well, that's been a novelty for a while, I guess. Hey, Oppenheimer Ranch Project over on YouTube. What is going on? Fantastic solar news over there. Got to go check out Diamond and Leah, Oppenheimer Ranch Project. We got to have them on again soon too. So much good stuff. We had them on the show last month, and people are still talking about it. Still talking about it. I saw over the weekend that there was some kind of discussion about Jay Dyer, possibly Timothy Gordon, and perhaps Michael Knowles, and they're looking to get Wesley Huff to do some sort of an Orthodox versus Catholicism versus Protestant debate on Tim Pool's show. I saw that brewing, the concept brewing on Twitter. I already got the word out to Jay and Tim. I said, listen, if that happens, you guys have to do a pre-debate weigh-in on Quite Frankly. So one way or another, I want to talk to you guys before Easter anyway. But if that happens, you guys, they said absolutely. So we'll figure that out. It'd be I don't have an in with West Huff, so I don't think I'd be able to do all that. But still, I like hanging out with those two. My grandpa imported Nazis to Pasadena during the war, says Humongous Shift. If you guys want to interview, anybody out there with a show that wants to interview Humongous Shift, there's a story there. His grandfather imported Nazis into Pasadena, California. Wow. It's impressive. I thought we were going to get an Argentina story there. No Argentina story. Anyway. Okay, so listen. I've got a couple of things I got to get done over here before I start actually really putting all these notes to use for the 7 o'clock show. Tonight, a couple of things real quick. We got the 7 o'clock show. It's going to be a lot of open lines. I want to get you guys in on that. Let's see here. After 7 o'clock show is the 9 o'clock book club. All right, so book club starts at 9 o'clock. For all of you sponsors, you're going to be getting that book club link sent to you probably around 3 p.m. today through either email or the Patreon or the Subscribe Star. That'll be at 9 o'clock. So we got today at 11. We're just doing this right now. Got 7 o'clock. Got 9 o'clock. A lot of broadcasting today. And a lot of things going on in between. And I just want to thank you all again for hanging out. Pick up a bag of, Quite Frankly, Elevation Blend coffee. We're going to be giving away a bag with some silver this week. Also, the Keto Brainz. Doesn't matter if it's hot or cold. Today, I iced down the coffee and I blended the Keto Brainz in there. I'm already flying high. Especially if you had a good night's sleep and you're hydrated and you're not already behind the 8 ball. That's when you really feel the effect there. But thank you guys. I'll see you guys a little bit later. Yes? You done? Aurora's doing her lessons over there. Practicing her stuff.
What a beautiful house and a purple
door. You guys are wonderful. This is really awesome hanging out with you all. And it just, I love working. Thank you for making work fun. So, talk to you later, and be well. See you soon.